Good evening. Thank you for watching. This is our weekly current affairs update in English. I'm Leah Hogg. At the end of this briefing, we'll also have a short briefing in Maltese. We're live from Net TV studios. Earlier this month, Dr. Bernard Grech was elected leader of the Nationalist Party with a landslide victory and nearly 70% of the vote. He's the 9th leader of the party. My guest today is former Prime Minister Dr. Lawrence Gonzi, and he will be speaking with us about the implications of the new leadership, what it means to people within the Nationalist Party and people within our country. Thank you very much once again for joining us. Good evening, Dr. Gonzi. Good evening. Thank you. I know you were supposed to be with us here today, but thank you for the social distancing. I'd like to discuss the aspects of the new leadership and what does this mean to us?
Yes, I think it's an important event. I mean, the change of leadership is always a very important event in the life of a political party. It is, of course, the result of a democratic process. We are a democratic country, and we have a party that believes in a strong democratic process, even within the party itself. I personally have seen change of leaderships. In other words, I stepped into the shoes of my predecessor, Dr. Fenek Adami, to whom I send my best wishes. And when I ended my term of office as leader of the party, Simon Busuttil stepped into my shoes and started a new way of implementing his own policies and his own methods and his own style. Subsequently, after Simon, then Adrian Dalia stepped into his shoes and again imprinted his own fingerprint on the way the party was managed and the policies were designed. And now there's Bernard, who has taken over the leadership as a result, as you correctly pointed out, as a result of a very strong and very active democratic process that indicated clearly that he carries the support of a majority of the Nationalist Party members who had the right to vote. So it is a new beginning, in a sense. Having said this, this does not diminish in any way the positives that have been invested into the party by the predecessor, by Dr. Dalia, to whom I also send my best wishes, and to all his team. So one has to start by recognizing that the previous team managed to handle the issues that arose, very challenging issues that arose in these past 3 years. And now, however, there's a change of leadership. I think it brings a fresh approach to all the challenges that our country faces. In reality, this is the most important topic. I think Bernard steps into the life of the Nationalist Party at a crucial point in time. You know, strangely enough, this happens quite often with the Nationalist Party. We end up in a situation, if you look at the past years, 50 years, 60 years of political history in Malta, the Nationalist Party has always had to step in crucial points in time to redirect this country and to put it back on the right way, on the correct way forward. And that normally is the result, direct result of the values that the Nationalist Party represents. I think Bernard understands this. And from what I've seen in these first few days, I mean, he's fresh into this position, which carries a lot of responsibility, and he finds himself immediately thrown into the deep end of the pool. He's got the budget, he's got the issue of the corruption that's going on, he's got the issues of the challenges to the country, he's got the issues of the number of problems that this Labour government has put onto the shoulders of this country. So many things, such heavy responsibility. So my assessment at this point in time is Bernard deserves to continue to receive the support of everybody, and that I hope everybody will understand that this is not about Bernard or previous leaders or whoever or the personalities. This is about the country. It's about the country. It's about the party that needs to intervene to save this country. It's no longer about personalities. This is the crucial point.
Thank you. How do you think this leadership should affect nationalists and people who are nationalists in Malta?
I think it affects the presence of Bernard and the values he espouses, the values he speaks about, the values that he represents, even the explanations he gave during the campaign. I think all of that now needs to inspire all the nationalists, all those who support the Nationalist Party, in order to put more energy into the party, to continue on the good work that was done in the past, of course, to build on what has been established, to correct what needs to be corrected, to have a presence, a strong presence in those policy areas which this country considers or are very important for the future of this country. And therefore, every nationalist supporter, whether the person is an activist in a committee, whether the person is simply a supporter or a voter at an election and goes back home and lives a quiet life and is not bothered with anything else, except seeing this country move forward, I think all of those people need to understand that the party needs their input, needs their support, and their support to Bernard, I repeat what I've said because this is the way I look at things, the support to Bernard or to whoever isn't a support to the individual, but it is an expression of support to a set of values that will guide this country forward. So this is not, I repeat, not about personalities, about the determination of us all to make sure that this country is back on track. And mind you, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We're far, far away from where we should be.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's my next question. I mean, what impact do you think this new leadership will have on the country?
Oh, I'm confident that the new leadership will have a positive impact on the country. I'm convinced. I mean, we're in the worst possible situation we are. This country has never been in this situation. I mean, it's not just this country, mind you. I am extremely worried by the way the commitment to genuine politics by Maltese persons, in order to enhance the common good, has suddenly been undermined by what we've been going through in these past 6 years. I mean, we have made the concept of politics for the common good a joke. And the persons who are responsible for doing this need to be challenged very strongly by the Nationalist Party. And I am confident that the country wants this. I have just followed the first 3 days of the Ernst & Young exercise that analyzes the competitiveness of the country, etc. And the survey that was carried out highlights the elephant in the room that this country has. Actually, it's a whole herd of elephants we have in this country. It's about reputation. It's about good governance. It's about the loss of business because we have lost all the concept of good governance in the eyes of the international community. How in heaven's name can we attract investment to this country? How can we attract the good investment, the genuine investment that we need for this country to create jobs, if the investors outside there are looking at us with doubts, with an idea that we represent the bad side of politics rather than the other side? So my answer to your question, I am confident and I trust that everybody understands that at this point in time, we need to input all our energy to get the Nationalist Party in the strongest position possible to be able to make change happen, whether we are in the opposition during this time in opposition, but hopefully when the time comes and we are elected back into government because the electorate finds trust in us, then at that point in time, we will be able to implement change to get this country back on the right track. But I'm confident that the country will look at Bernard's arrival on the scene as a positive step forward, another step forward, another important event that will stimulate everybody to commit ourselves to bring change.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzi. Thank you. What positive qualities do you see in Dr. Bernard Gregg?
Oh, he's a family man, and that for me is always a very important aspect. He's a family man. He comes across as genuine. He comes across as understanding the moment, the crucial moment in time we have, and understanding the responsibility he carries on his shoulders. You know, when you end up in the position of leader of the party, of this great party that has such a rich history and that has changed this country and put it where it is. You know, this party that is so proud of its heritage, of its past, of what it's done, and should be proud as well of where it is today and where it wishes to go. You know, I was particularly pleased when I got to know a few months ago now that Simon Busuttil became the Secretary General of the European People's Party. This is the largest party in Europe. And Simon Busuttil, former leader of the Nationalist Party, is today Secretary General of that party. Today, we had another piece of good news. The European People's Party has just nominated Roberta Metsola-Trikas, one of our MEPs, you know, to contest the position of Vice President of the European Party. These are important statements that prove to everybody the Nationalist Party and the people, the leadership of the Nationalist Party is a respected leadership. It is a leadership that is that brings faith, trust in the future of our country. So this is where we are. And Bernard, I think, continues in this tradition. Of course, let us not try to make it simple, because it is not simple and it is not easy. It wasn't easy for Adrian Dalia. It will not be easy for Bernard. When I say not easy, I mean the situation in the country. This is what I mean. Okay, which means that we have to try our very best to unite the party and to act when we are called upon to act, in order to provide support, not for the benefit of any single person, but for the benefit of our own families, of our own workers, of our pensioners, of our children, of our grandchildren. You know, these are the objectives, and this is where Bernard is, I believe, very strong in his values.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzi. Do you think that the appointment of Dr. Bernard Gregg will bring unity to the Nationalist Party?
Oh, I certainly hope so. You know, a divided house will never move forward. A divided house will have internal problems. It will drain away a lot of energy, a lot of focus, and it will just be a very pleasant gift to the Labour Party that is the culprit of the situation where we are in. So we have to understand that unity for the sake of unity is extremely important, that we have all of us to put aside our differences. There will always be different opinions. There will always be different ideas, of course. This is what has made the Nationalist Party over the past history. We have different opinions, but then we are able to come together because we understand what is the most important objective. And the most important objective is to get back into government as quickly as possible. This has to be the objective. The rest is marginal, it's secondary, it's not important. Let's everybody put aside all the differences and just pull the same rope. I'm confident that Bernard will do so. It is his responsibility, mind you. It is always the responsibility of the leader of the party to bring everybody around the table in a consensus-building exercise, where everybody is respected, everybody is valued, even if that person has a different opinion. And I trust that Bernard will manage to achieve this target.
Thank you. In the event, Dr. Gonzi, of an early general election, do you believe that the Nationalist Party will be in a stronger position?
It is a steep hill to climb, but I believe it will be in a stronger position. As long as we continue to remain focused on what needs to be addressed, on what needs to be explained to the electorate, on what needs to be explained even to the new voters that will join the rest of the electorate when it's time to go to an election. And mind you, these include the younger generation, so there has to be enormous focus on that sector of our electorate. But I think we are on the right track. So I would encourage everybody to remain optimistic, to contribute for us to achieve that for the sake of the country, and to understand, however, that things just don't happen on their own. That this doesn't happen just because we have Bernard Gregg there or because we have somebody else in a different position, etc. It happens if everybody convinces himself or herself that it is time to do something to save our country.
Thank you. Can we just take a minute to address COVID-19? How do you think the opposition can contribute to the effective management of the spread of the virus?
I think, Leia, I think it can be done in two ways. Of course, there's a lot more that can be done. But first of all, the opposition needs to remain vigilant on this government. This government...
We seem to have lost Dr. Gonzi. As you know, we are live here, so we'll wait for a reconnection. Within a few minutes, we're going to have a short update in Maltese. So I hope you stay with us. We're just going to have a short commercial break and we'll be with you very, very soon.